Hey everybody, I'm back. Eduardo Jackson, creator, founder, CEO of the Cinema Draft Game with a very, very special guest. That's right. You know him, you love him, and now you must fear him. He is our very first three straight, three-peat champion of the feature presentation, Jay Devlin.
And I'd love to say it's getting old, but it's just not getting old. Accepting my weekly trophy. I'm going for 4 weeks in a row, an entire month. I think I referred to myself as the anti-Jim Kelly. 4-0. Me, Joe Montana, and Michael Jordan. So I want to be spoken in that same light when it comes to winning. Just straight
Who
up,
will break
straight
up
up
this
winning.
dynasty? And you know what? Damn it. I think I'm going to take my shot next week because, first of all, I'm tired of getting beat at my own game. Second of all, I always tend to use the best call sheet I've got in the best points of the feature presentation. No more. No more. Matter of fact, you know what? Maybe I'll start filling out my call sheets, backwards. Maybe I'll start from the background talent and work my way up to the feature presentation so that by that time I'll have figured it out, damn it. But great
Ed,
job. I'm very
how many
proud of you.
feature presentation wins do you have?
Zero, actually. I don't think I've won it. I've won the best boy like twice, I think. I've
Oh, the best
won.
boy. That's like winning what, the long jump in the Special Olympics?
You know,
Like
you
what?
know what, you know what? All money's good money. Damn it, this ain't dominoes. All money's good money. All right. Even
It's
though,
like winning the mixed doubles title at the Australian
hey,
Open.
hey, 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 hey,
All
hey,
right,
hey. One of these days,
go for
when we have
go for the
multiple
title, the
huge
singles title.
huge GPPs, that's guaranteed prize pools for all you DFS fans. Winning any damn tournament's going to be very, very special. And these are still special. Don't hate just because you came in second, or was it you came in second? You came in like fourth in the best boy. Well, we're going to focus on your win though. Let's focus on your win. I'm very
I
excited for you.
didn't, but notice how I did not, because the thing I do not like, my pet peeve, is when people put the same lineup in every contest and then win all the contests.
Yes,
So I
we
at
know.
least deviated. I
You
didn't put
did.
my stud lineup into the best boy. I'd like switched it around a little bit.
All right.
But
Well, tell the
oh,
people your thought
Saturday.
process behind your call sheet. Go.
Well, we discussed it last week. I don't think we did it on a pod. We might have done it just over a regular phone call, but
Yes, we missed you last week, Jay Devlin. Don't leave us like that.
well, it worked out because people did not stack a dog's purpose like they were supposed to. 2 weeks in a row, I was able to find the undervalued movie and just stack it. 2 weeks ago, Split did not cost enough money, so I believe I had like a 7 pack of Split. This
True.
week, Dog's Purpose, the stupid PETA thing that came out where people literally thought that people weren't going to go see this movie because like somebody thought a dog was mistreated. Parents don't care. Like, it's a
And
nice
kids
movie.
definitely don't care or know,
Kids kids don't care. No dogs were slaughtered. This isn't like some fucking slaughterhouse. All right. Like, maybe a dog was mistreated. Life goes on. It's a feel good movie. People showed up for it. It did almost $19 million. I'd never thought for a second it wouldn't do that because, bottom line, like, we've been doing this for a while. Parents like taking kids to movies. Kids
And and
like
to, and to prove
movies.
it, you put your money where your mouth is. We had another one of our infamous side bets. I think I wagered the $20 I was up to versus Jay Devlin. So now we are back to even, and I'm looking for something to double down on. Damn it!
Absolutely. Hey, man, I'm all for protests and standing up, but like some of these are protesting a dog's purpose was probably like, just above, I don't even know. Can't even think of a worse protest than that. Very
Yeah, there
solid
was more stuff to
movie
protest this weekend. That's for damn sure.
than a dog's purpose. All right. A nice movie. I'm sure people shed some tears. It's this generation's old Yeller, and it brought me to the winner's circle. So, Dennis Quaid, thank you, my brother.
All right, there you have it. So let's take a look at Gamble 24/7's call sheet, a stalwart atop the top three these days. He also had a 5 pack of A Dog's Purpose. Looks like he also had the headliner stack of Split. Interesting. Maybe
Real quick, could a little teaching lesson right here. You ready?
sure strategy. Let's
Go
strat it
back
up.
to my lineup. Go back to my lineup
Okay.
real quick. This last week was a prime example of don't get caught up in spending all of your money. You
Okay.
don't have to spend the full 100,000.
This is true.
Uh, I could have gone up from like one of my Dog's Purpose movies to get Resident Evil because it cost a little bit more. But at no point did I think that movie would ever do more than A Dog's Purpose. So I ended up leaving, I think about $3,400 on the table.
Right, about 3,600 on the table. Yeah.
3,600 on the table. And, you know, people get caught up, hey, I got to spend all my money. It's the only way to get maximum points. That's not true. If you have a lineup that you think mathematically is going to earn the most, whatever you have left over should not play any part in your
Okay, and
decision
I'll
making.
jump in on that though. That I do agree, especially on some weekends as we're still figuring out what the optimal strategy to this game is. Sure, it's probably optimal to leave some money on the table. I would say this though, and this is a rule of thumb that I apply. And we're DFS enthusiasts, daily fantasy sports enthusiasts. We like to dabble in the DraftKings of the world and here and there. And one thing I remember learning early on when I was trying to learn basic strategy to the game, read this thing by Jonathan Bales, one of the premier, I guess thought leaders or whatever on DFS strategy out there, and he said early on that he likes to leave. What was it? He said, is it 1% or 5%, something like that? I think it was like 5% or whatever. No more than 5% of his overall budget, on the table. And I've kind of adopted that. I think with here, if you leave 5,000 or less, you're probably in good shape. Because you still use majority of your budget, what have you. You're clearly well within the 5% or whatever. But if you're leaving probably like 20,000, and you're probably, I mean, I'm not saying you're totally wrong unless it's like a really big value weekend and I totally mispriced the talent pool. But
Yeah.
most likely, 5,000, 6,000 ish. You kind of, in my estimation, you kind of want to be around that general area because you're probably missing out on some value somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a week-to-week thing. And as we've learned playing this game since you launched about 2.5 months ago, is that every week is in and of itself, and the strategy changes for sure. This just, to me, seemed like the kind of week where leaving money on the table was the best way to go about it, because as you go to Gamble 24/7's lineup, he had almost the same lineup as I had, but I
Yes.
feel like he felt like he had to spend his money.
Had to spend a
So
little more, maybe.
he went up from A Dog's Purpose to go to Resident Evil, which,
True.
which, I mean, I guess he got 19 points out of it. I mean, I don't know if I could have got there.
Yeah, but this is a
36.
great
No,
example of
I couldn't
value.
have.
See, he could have actually squeezed in another Dog's Purpose instead of Resident Evil. He might have been
Exactly.
hedging his bets. Like even if he had seen or didn't see the box office pro prognostications, whatever, which we know can be kind of shaky.
Yeah.
Still, even from a pure value standpoint, he got more points per dollar with 18.38 points, for $8,600 for A Dog's Purpose on the average actor in that film than he would have even as a headliner from
13 points. Yep.
13 for
Exactly.
5,000. So
So
yeah.
don't be worried about spending all your money. Just make the best lineup possible that you think is the bottom line. Is this: the most points wins. It doesn't matter how much of your budget you spend, whether you spend all of it or you spend 95% of it or whatever. The point is to get the most points. Don't get
And
caught
also
up.
to get the best value too,
Best
because I
value.
think because as I spoke on the micro pod last weekend, that what I thought might have been the winning call sheet was something that had a lot of A Dog's Purpose, the headliner stack of Split, but then it's probably going to come down to the limited release really, and he kind of ran out of money, so he punted the limited release with Resurrection of Gavin Stone. That's understandable.
Killed him.
But that's what kept him from the top spot, because if he'd used the money he could have saved on Resident Evil, which is like 5,000 more than most of A Dog's Purpose actors, he could have used that money to go up a little bit to get Patriots Day, and a headline from that, I think 6 or 7,000 would have probably gotten him right up there with you. Probably would have
That would
tied
have
or
beat
something.
me. That would have beat me if he
Yeah.
had gone up to Patriots Day from his Resurrection of Gavin Stone and down from Resident Evil to A Dog's Purpose. That would have beat me by, I think, like 0.4 points.
Right. It would have been really
It would have
close.
beat me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I love to see the scramble at the top. Returning to the winner's circle, BTTF, the top 3 spot. It's been a while since we've seen him out here. Looks like he also did okay. So he had the headliner stack of Split, headliner 4-pack of Dog's Purpose. Oh yeah, it's interesting though. Silence, which and actually I did see Silence. I was watching a screener of Silence over the weekend, and that is an insufferable movie. It deserves what little box office it gets. Oh my goodness, I had to quit that movie. Anyways, he did a headliner stack of Silence. which is probably where he missed out on some points probably. And then
For
also
sure.
he did Patriots Day, and then Resident Evil would probably cover his bases. And you never know sometimes with these January-ish genre films, because we also had the same kind of concerns about Underworld. Was Underworld going to perform?
Well,
Because this
Resident
is
Evil came out of the box on Thursday, crushing. I think it did like $1 million on
it
Thursday,
really did. It really
which
did.
made
Yeah.
I was like, I knew a kids movie wasn't going to do great on a Thursday,
And to be
but
honest with you, the
Resident Evil
reviews have been
crushed on
fairly
a Thursday.
positive
Yeah.
of Resident, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw like I mean, I don't know, Cinema Score or whatever. I think I'm looking for IMDb. Cinema Score, whatever, it was like B plus. I mean, these movies aren't built for like critical acclaim or anything. So I was a little surprised to see that like it was getting the like decent reviews. Look at 6.3. That's kind of, I guess, whatever. Critics. Oh,
That's
never
about
mind. 18.
that's, that's about
Never mind.
5.3 higher than that movie probably deserves.
Never mind. Okay, so moving right along, and actually, I want to bring us to a new feature I'm working on installing this week. This is what I'm calling the call sheet of the week. And the call sheet of the week, we're going to try to award that to the person with the most points on their call sheet in any of the
Wow.
contests. And it looks like
This
this
isn't
week.
narcissistic at all.
No,
What's
no,
about to
I'm
happen?
just saying. I mean, I was hoping it was gonna be you. Actually, I had an inkling to give you the call sheet of the week anyway, since you have notched the historic three-peat. But I think
Mhm.
we need to see what optimal call sheets look like, and
I
this is
think it's the
probably the
best
closest.
boy. Yeah, that's where you beat my sheet by about like 0.3.
Yes, this is my
Somewhere there.
wheelhouse, the best boy. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
where I edge you out by in this one I beat you by like about 12 points, but
Yeah.
overall with the overall scoring, I think I
Point
beat you by like point
point.
five, point
Yeah.
four something. Yeah. And so 220.87, I believe, is the highest scoring call sheet of the week. This one belongs to yours truly, Cinema Draft Swag, and
And that's the
the
one with Patriots Day and limited release
exact
instead
this
of the founder. I think
yes, this
that's
is the
the
one I
nut.
talked about on the podcast where on the weekend preview podcast where I had the six pack of Dog's Purpose, the headliner stack of Split, and then I did Patriots Day, and then kind of punted with Father Never Bothered. Now it was a bit of a punt, but it was also a calculated punt with Father Never Bothered, and I left 2,200
Dude,
on the
that
table.
movie crushed.
It really and see and so
Yeah.
go ahead and talk about some of these indie films, kind of
Well,
indie foreign films crushing out of the box.
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, that was a total luck box move by me picking that movie. I've gotten to the habit of I take the most, like, I take the Indian movies, I take the Mexican movies, I take the most un-American movie that's in platform and cheap, and I play it because those movies do really well. Like
Well,
over,
and especially look at
we were
this.
riding that one Indian movie that
Uh,
it took you 3 weeks to figure out how to pronounce it.
exactly. Yes, I remember something.
So,
I Idil Ush Mikil or something. It was awesome.
yeah.
I remember those were great days.
And so I don't know who's in this movie. I have no idea what it's about, but it fits into my formula of find these platform movies where there's probably no English, there's some subtitles, and they dominate.
Well, it
There you
also was
go.
key too about Father Never Bothered is that it was a bit of a nexus of what we look for in one of these sleeper foreign films. I mean, it had a fairly wide release for platform. It was on 312 screens. It was subtitled, but that also kind of tends to bring out those communities and where it's playing, and so you're usually going to see a pretty strong, at least one to first 2 or 3 weeks of performance out of these type of movies. And so I felt pretty confident that Father Never Bothered, especially, I mean, I'm not sure if it was undervalued because there's no recognizable stars. It was valued, in the, sub 5,500, but still I figured, especially if you need to get a platform release in there, get you an actor from a foreign
Yeah,
film. You never know.
dude, go to platform, find out what movies are platform, and look how many screens they're on. And,
Mhm.
if they're on a lot of screens, play them. It's like that
Yeah.
simple. It's
Even
not.
Lion did decent this weekend. I think Lion did like another 2 or 3 million. So that's well, actually, no, I'm sorry, that's unlimited release. Never mind. There's another. Well, yeah, I think of the platform releases that had the best shot. So that was the rationale behind
This week,
that.
looking forward, will be decided in the platform and the limited categories.
Oh, bold call. Well, let's take a look. Well, great transition. I appreciate that. Let's take a look at the new talent
It's
pool,
not
which
my
is
first
already
rodeo, Ed.
up.
They call me the John Stockton of radio.
The assists, yes. Let's take a look
Dropping
at some of
dimes.
these actors in these films that we have. I've been experimenting with trying to get these up as soon as sooner
Yeah,
than
you
later, so that
haven't.
when we're done finalizing these contests, that you're able to jump right in and poke
Is
around.
James Baldwin like the ninth Baldwin brother? Is he related to that family?
Yo, this I'm actually really excited about this call sheet. Not because it's good. This is just like a dummy call sheet. But when else are you ever gonna have a chance to put Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, and James Baldwin on the same call sheet? That's exciting. I just like to say that. Basically, that's coming
I
from a
dropped
movie.
about 30 on Medgar Evers University in college in a
Okay,
game.
did you really? Yo,
Yeah.
where are they? Are they in Mississippi? Where are they from?
No, I think they're out of New York City.
Oh,
It
sweet.
was
Were
a
they
New
D
York
three, D
school.
two?
I think they were D2 school, something like
For
that.
those of you scoring at home, Jay Devlin 6'6", 6'7"?
Yeah, 6'9" with the afro.
With the non-Jew fro, yes.
What movie? Come on, Ed. What movie is that?
Oh crap. Fisher
Here he
City,
comes out.
Pittsburgh.
No, here he comes down in the court. Fletch, 6'5", 6'9" with the afro. This gritty kid out of Harlem. Fletch.
Don't tell me that was the one. Is that Celtic Pride?
No, it's Fletch. The movie
Fletch. Oh
Fletch with
wow.
Chevy
Oh wow.
Chase.
Wow, he went in
Come
the
on,
crates
man.
for that one, y'all. Testing my VHS gangster.
All
Yeah,
right,
so we
talk
have
to me. What do you got here? What do you got? What's this? The space
so
between us?
so
Ugh.
looking at the overall spreadsheet. We've got five new entries this week. We've got The Space Between Us, kind of like a tween sci-fi movie. Rings, which is a horror genre. I Am Not Your Negro, which is a documentary based on James Baldwin, using mostly his words and his writing. And I'm totally partial to this only because I did my freshman year dissertation in English class at Morehouse on James Baldwin. Love him. The Comedian, starring Robert De Niro, and then also Reis, which I believe is an Indian film that
Huge. I'm going a 9-pack of that movie. Those Indians show up for the box office, man. 1 billion Indians can't be wrong.
yes,
All right.
attractively priced.
Oh,
5,400 your top headliner. 5,000 is your stone minimum actor. Yeah, it's
I
going
will
down.
have this movie on my call sheet somewhere, guaranteed right now.
Look out for updates throughout the week. 265 screens, so it definitely kind of fits that criteria of a fairly high end of the platform release. And also look for about 3 more actors that should be updated later on this evening, or if not tomorrow. So we'll give you every opportunity to add these excellent Indian actors to your call sheet. The space between us.
What'd you
Yeah,
do with Split? What'd you do with Split? How much for the
oh,
Split actor?
Split's staying the same. Is
Okay.
unchanged. It actually, this feels like it might be a bit of a flat box house weekend as far as there's going to be, a bunching at the top between. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of out of touch with my teen/tween demographic now that the real world's not on right now. Because
Oh,
with the real world, I can see all those commercials as I'm skipping forward, so I got to get an idea of what's being promoted to, probably the hottest demographic of moviegoers, which is like the kids and the tweens. So without
yeah.
any MTV watching, I'm kind of lost right now.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how Space Between Us is going to do. I have a feeling it might only do about 10 or 11 million. The Comedian, I think, is definitely going to be in like limited release, if not outright platform. So don't look for that to do too much. Rings is the wild card. Rings is the sequel to The Ring, I guess.
Wow, they really got creative on that one.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going off of a franchise property, which is, it's wide release. It's one of those low budget, high reward type films that, I mean, it could do 20. I don't know. What do you think about these type of films, Jay Devlin?
I don't usually get the horror films right because I'm not a fan of the genre.
Mm.
Uh, that being said, I like the price already. Around 10, 10, 1. You can kind of stack it up a little bit. You raise the price on A Dog's Purpose, which
Yeah.
kind of
Oh, yeah.
takes that
Yes. Good
which
point.
takes that stack. If Dog's Purpose loses, let's say it only loses 30% of what it did, that means the value for Rings is exponentially better than anything from A Dog's Purpose.
Oh, okay.
So right now, I'm probably I'm going to stick with my strategy of I might full stack Rings,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
if it's projected to do 14 or 15, and then goes to like 15, 18. You know, maybe people saw Split. They're in kind of the mood for these kind of movies, these kind of scary movies, and it'll be a carryover into Rings because people are like, well, Split was really scary. That was fun, a fun movie. Fuck it, let's go see Rings. So maybe Rings kind of piggybacks on Split a little bit. Does
That's
18.
an interesting strategy. I hadn't really considered getting too much of Rings, but now I'm intrigued. As usual with us, at least, we liked seeing what happens with the box office pro, prognostication or whatever, because we know it's coming out every week. We know it's coming out on Wednesdays, so I'm gonna keep that in the back of my head. I'm very intrigued.
Keep that there. And then the other thing to look for, I think people need to notice, is the fact that a lot of these old, like La La Land and other movies, Arrival, some movies are coming back into the theaters in big numbers because Oscar season's around the corner. So they're trying to hype these movies up to win an Oscar. So you might be able to find some really good value on some of these cheaper movies that were out maybe a month and a half ago that you still have up for drafting. So I would definitely take a look at those.
And tell people real quick what you thought of Gold. I've already gone on record how I felt about Gold, but you saw that the other day.
Gold was fantastic. I thought it was a fun ride. Anytime you can get McConaughey, like kind of drinking, being a character with a big personality, I'm always going to check that out.
And he really gained those pounds. Like he's like legit.
It was yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. It's
not a prosthetic. He actually gained the pounds. I saw.
Oh, he gained the pounds. But here's the thing, Ed. He's jacked. The guy's in great shape. He's like cut up 6-pack, 8-pack. When dudes like that put on some weight for a movie role, they're still fucking jacked. All right. So like when he woke up in the morning in the one scene and he kind of sits up in the bed and we're supposed to see his fat rolls, you still see his muscles inside of like the fat that just kind of existed there for a little bit, and like his chest was still like. So my girlfriend and I saw it together and we were laughing at it. We were like, yeah, we get it. He was like, he put on some weight, but you could still see like his back muscles. He was still like a physical fight. He was a physical specimen
out of the jacuzzi, whatever. It's like it's like a pretty athletic looking fat dude,
He's like the fat guy at the park that can still dunk, and you're like, wait, how's this fat guy still dunking?
Man, I don't appreciate you calling me out like that, Jay Devlin.
Shit, son. There you go.
I went biking today. I went biking.
I like it. I went hiking. You went biking. Gold. Loved it though. I thought it was really good. Didn't really see it coming. Didn't know anything about the story. And I thought the acting was fantastic. The period piece was great. I love Reno. I mean, I'm a huge Reno guy. I'm a big
interesting. Okay,
I'm a huge Reno guy.
Behind Reno because I've been there once when I was like a kid, like in like high school for a convention, and I was like, all right, it's okay.
Bro, growing up as a kid, so I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. For a short time, I lived in Sacramento as a young kid, 3rd through 8th grade. Mm-hmm. My grandmother, rest in peace, Nana, love you. She loved playing the one-armed bandits, brother. So my mom would always pack me and my brothers up, and we would drive up to Tahoe and Reno, and Nana would sit there at the fucking one-armed bandit at Circus, man. Wow. Circus and Fitzgerald's just playing slots for hours and hours. So
Fun fact about Fitzgerald's
guy through and through.
Fun fact about Fitzgerald is that at least the one in Vegas, I'm not sure if the whole chain was, but at least the one in Vegas used to be owned by a couple brothers, black dudes, and they sold it to a bunch of brothers, like actual brothers from Detroit, who turned into the D. Fun fact. Nice. Yeah. And it's funny thing is when I think of Reno, I do think of the only thing I remember from that trip, because I was like 16 or something, I remember a lot of slot machines. So that sounds very, very apropos.
So many slots, man. She had incredible stamina.
Well played, Nana.
And that was before you could just push a button and it spun for you. You actually back then had to pull that.
You had to do the work.
Yeah. I mean, she was, by the end of that trip, she was just, her right arm was like, she looked like Roger Federer's right arm compared to his left arm. How it's just like exponentially bigger. Just because he's been playing tennis on it for 30 years and the other arm is like super skinny and malnutritioned.
Oh, man.
Take a look at that next time you see him. It's true.
That's I will look out for that. And congratulations, Roger Federer. He did win the Australian Open, correct?
He did. My least favorite Williams sister won. I'm a Venus guy. I've always been a Venus guy. I love her. I've always liked her smile the best. I always liked her demeanor. She got a great smile. I always liked her disposition. She always seemed like the friendlier Williams sister to me. So that's who I was rooting for in that particular battle. But big ups to Serena for beating Steffi Graf's record for most Grand Slam titles. Two great champions for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, big props to Serena Williams. And on that note, from one champion to another, Jay Devlin, plug your stuff as we exit today's podcast.
We are back on UBN Radio and iHeartRadio live every Tuesday
Yes.
night, 7 to 9 Pacific Standard Time for the Mostly Sports Show. Get us on iTunes. Just put us in the Google machine. You'll find us. Lots of great content. Find us on Twitter, Mostly Sport. Constantly having a good time with some sports and entertainment. We're big on The Bachelor right now with Corinne. For all the people out there watching The Bachelor, Vanderpump Rules people as guests coming on the show. So we're having a good time, and we're going to have you back on the show next time you're in LA, my man.
Oh, excellent. Appreciate that. Definitely love the show. Definitely love Jackie Marfuji. Laugh
Another
Bay.
shout out. Another shout out to your Laugh Bay.
Gotta give her a shout out. Yes, and I'll be listening to your podcast tonight. I'm very excited. It's a good 2 hours well spent while I'm grinding out this game for the people. And thank you, people, for listening once again to our little micro pod recapping this week's action. The games are up in the lobby already. Go to cinemadraft.co. That is cinemadraft.co. Follow us on all of our social media. It's either at Play Cinema Draft or just at Cinema Draft. And subscribe to us on iTunes. Review us, like us.
Can I sneak one thing in before you sign off?
Please.
One quick thing, because I didn't get to come on last week and discuss things with you. You and I had a great phone conversation that
we kept missing stuff. Absolutely, yeah.
I listened to your show last week with the two lovely ladies you had on. Their names escape me. I apologize.
Oh yes,
they were
sorry, Kalila Joy, and Alexia. KJ and Lex.
Charming, articulate, beautiful women.
Yes, we hope to have them back for our After the Oscars pod. Yes.
Absolutely loved it. I would have loved to have been a part of that show, but I liked watching it. I will say this. They took offense to the fact that I called Hidden Figures a really good Disney movie.
We worked it out. We talked our way through it.
They looked, but you had to explain it. Who doesn't love Disney movies? Disney movies are awesome. I mean, they're incredible. They feel good stories. I like what you said when you said, I mean, Remember the Titans was a Disney movie, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was awesome. I cry every time I watch that movie. So that was about the best compliment I can give a movie is to say that was an awesome Disney movie.
Well, taken out of context to some people, I mean, a Disney movie can either get, I mean, especially historically, can be either connoted as something that's
connoted.
No, stop. I mean, I think I can use
what's that word? I don't know that word.
Well, I mean, it's like derived from like a connotation. I mean, I'm not sure if this actual verb. Maybe that's
great word. Though.
My
I like
English
that.
degree,
but
whatever.
Noted.
Denoted, connoted, or you can derive a connotation from a Disney movie as something that's either like simplistic or family. I mean, all these things for today's Disney don't really apply. But like, first thing I think of when you say Disney movies, I think of is Bambi, and I was like 5. So that's why we just had to kind of like we had to talk our way through it. Because Disney does have like a long, large legacy, but it's been known as like simpler family films at a certain point in history. That's all. So we had to talk.
I cried like a baby twice in that movie, Hidden Figures. Great movie, loved it, and I do stand by the fact that I think that it was a simpler movie only because, like I said to you, that should have been 3 different fucking movies about all 3 of those amazing women.
And they definitely warmed up to that idea.
I would watch all 3 of those movies in a heartbeat. I want more Katherine Johnson and more Mary Jackson. And I'd forget the other woman's name.
Mary Jackson.
Definitely more Mary Jackson. And it was a really good movie. Gold was a good movie.
Well, you know what? Let's reclaim the phrase Disney movie. You and I together, right here, right now, we're reclaiming Disney movie to be a positive, to mean something that you can't get enough of, you want more of, and more accurately reflects our more complex times. Disney movie now means it's like home cooking. It's always good, and you always want more.
100, like it leaves you wanting more. And I think like Remember the Titans was the perfect example of that. It was like it's an historical movie about like something that happened in history, and it was just painted beautifully. And when I walked out of the theater, I felt really good, and it was uplifting, and every other superlative you can think of. So that's my definition of a Disney movie. I'm not talking about Bambi. Or
No, like we're reclaiming it. Damn it, we done took it back.
Yeah.
We took Disney movie back. And so let's see what future Disney movies wait for your call sheets. All these great movies we can't get enough of. Definitely follow us on all our social media. Keep playing the game. Tell your friends. We're gonna be making some changes coming up in the next few weeks, including mobile and everything. Very exciting. So we appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing your call sheet.